Hi everyone, I really enjoyed your videos and thank you for providing some feedback for me so far. We kind of focused on a lot of the same issues. I think as a group we found the same concepts to be both startling or new. Natalie, you talked about adult centrism, as did I. This is a type of discrimination and a type of marginalization that I hadn't thought about, and it sounds like it's somewhat of an interesting topic for you as well. With being a faculty member in early childhood education, I think that is both really awesome and interesting. And you talked about how you try to make sure that you teach your students to do things that are challenging yet achieving for the children. And I really love that phrase, and I'm going to try to remember that for future use. With children, I think I do agree with you, and I see a lot of oversimplification and then a lot of overcomplication in terms of describing things to young students or children, or giving them tasks that are either too easy or too hard. And I think we need to learn to target that challenging but yet, achievable. I think I might have even messed that up. Challenging yet achievable. So I just think that's a really interesting concept, to make sure that we aren't talking to them like they are, little itty babies, or giving them a task that is just going to overwhelm them and give them anxiety. And as far as Joshua moving along, you talked about the transgender oppression, and that is the topic that I chose to focus on for my overall project. The Compton cafeteria article had me a little bit mind blown, thinking I think they painted a really vibrant picture of the cafeteria and the street itself, and I felt like I had an idea of what it looked like and the people walking around, what they were wearing, and I think the riot, it sounds like something that should have happened way longer ago than it actually did, and I'm glad that now, people can walk around the streets and for the most part be a little bit more accepted. I know that we still have a long way to go with transgender oppression and acceptance in society, but that story was shocking, to say the least. Carla, you mentioned a lot as far as sort of the same concept of adult centrism as Natalie and I did, and you mentioned having the Career Center do a little bit more for young adults, getting them to feel more confident with their age, and how you had a student who didn't think she could get a job at her age and in her situation, and offering support groups for them. And that's a great idea. I think it's not just something that affects children. I think it affects people in our age bracket as well, the young adults, young professionals, because I do think that we are sometimes, experiencing a bias because maybe we don't have the age and wisdom of someone in their 30s or 40s or 50s or whatever it may be. But I also liked your idea of having a buddy program in the Office of Student Leadership and Engagement. I think any of these initiatives would do a world of good for people to realize that, if they're in that college age traditional group, 18 to 22, they are empowered, they should be confident, they have a wealth of knowledge and hopefully a lot of great experiences that UNCW has provided, and they shouldn't ever feel like they're not good enough to apply for a job that they're qualified for on paper, but just because of their age. And I agree, K-12 awareness is when we should be starting all of these initiatives, but I think as higher ed professionals, we need to always, take the cautious side and treat everyone as if they haven't been exposed to this before, so that everyone can learn more about adult centrism when they do come to college. So even if they've already sort of learned about it and been made aware, we'll just, hit them again so that we can make sure the masses are really comfortable with this concept and made aware of it, so that they never have to suffer some of the marginalization. Sarah, I was a teacher as well, and I think that a lot of the things you're doing are so admirable. All of the different student groups you participate in, and the Special Olympics, and even just you mentioning things like perfumes, I think is an awesome thing to point out, because everyone's body, physically, mentally, whatever it is, reacts different to certain scenarios, and even something as small as putting perfume on in class could play a huge role in just the reaction and the success of other students in class. So thanks for pointing that out. Going to keep it short. Appreciate everyone's thoughts, and I look forward to our final projects.